Cyberpunk has a lot of secrets. I'm still finding new ones every single day, but it seems I'll never find every secret in the game, and the addition of Phantom Liberty isn't helping. I'm honestly running out of ideas for how to keep these intros entertaining. You saw the title, you saw the thumbnail, you know exactly what this video is about. So let's get into 10 hidden secrets in Cyberpunk that you probably didn't know about. Make sure you stay until the end for an extra bonus secret. And remember to let me know of any secrets that I have not covered down in the comments. There is one common trend I've noticed with Phantom Liberty, and that's the order of what you do things matter. Now I will admit, I was worried that CD Projekt Red would overlook this feature when they revealed that the DLC starts during the second act. Well, let's just say I worried for nothing. CDPR isn't Bethesda. With that being said, there is a BD star in Dogtown named Lena Melina. She has a side quest where one of her biggest fans gets his brain zapped and starts to believe that he's actually Lena. So the guy's partner has you find the real Lena. How the quest plays out from here is not important. What is important is that when you talk to Lena, you claim to be a BD scout that wants to hire her for a gig. You can either pay her or show her the picture that you took of Carrie and us cracks. But here's the thing, you can actually participate in a professional BD. The side quest Centerman, long story short, a convicted murderer wants to crucify himself for a BD on behalf of a professional BD studio. Now for this to work, you have to see it all the way through, and the BD has to be successful, so no discouraging Joshua or telling him not to do it. You'll need to keep him focused and encourage him. You'll also have to do the crucifixion yourself. You'll know you did it when Rachel calls you telling you that the BD was a success. Now doing this before Phantom Liberty, once you get the side quest dazed and confused, Lena will actually recognize you from the crucifixion BD. That's a lot of effort to put into a game for hardly anyone to actually experience it.
Knew your Mordechka was familiar. You nailed that Jesus freak to the cross.
Cyberpunk has Marvel references, sure, but it also has references to another and far superior comic book franchise. Once you get street cred level 40 and finish the main story missions with Panam, you'll get a now hidden side quest located in Nash's old hideout. Coming here, you'll find a crate with a Caliburn in it. This Caliburn belongs to Mercman, Night City's very own vigilante, with his Caliburn, of course, being his Batmobile. Since you're going to be role-playing as Night City's Batman, then you probably want to fight some Night City supervillains. Well, you can actually find one inside Dogtown. If you come to this location on the map and climb up this building, you can climb inside the one on the far left and fight one of the few hidden cyber psychos in Dogtown. This of course is a reference to Poison Ivy. Like I said earlier, the order you do things in Cyberpunk actually matters. The Phantom Liberty DLC as a whole is a pretty big event, so if you do it before anything else, then you would expect a change in dialogue and the way some people treat you, right? Assuming you choose to betray Songbird and side with Solomon Reed, Songbird will end up getting captured by MaxTac, so in order to get her back, you hire a Netrunner and attack the MaxTac convoy. You'd think something like soloing an entire Psycho Squad would raise some eyebrows. Well, it does. When you meet with Rogue at the Afterlife, you need to discuss shooting down a Kang Tao AV, and insist that you enlist Panam to help. But if you completed Phantom Liberty and sided with Solomon Reed before doing this, you can actually bring up how you raided a MaxTac convoy so you can handle anything.
MaxTac convoy ambush in Dogtown. Word make it back here about that.
That was you?
Partner and I took out an entire Psycho Squad. And these weren't the MT Bush Leaguers they deploy in NC proper.
Dazed and Confused is a hidden gem of a side quest in Phantom Liberty. There are many possible ways the quest can play out. We just mentioned this quest a few minutes ago, so we can skip all the extra details. When you go to Lena's house to convince her to help Shank scroll a BD with Tool, you have to deal with Lena's goons. You can either tell them off or just kill them. If you kill them, you can take one of the bodies, break into Lena's house, and stick the body in her fridge. Now you're probably wondering, why would anyone do that? It seems like a bit of a hassle to do. But doing this, and assuming you pick the right ending to the quest, she will eventually send you a text complaining about how she went looking in her fridge for a protein shake, but found a corpse instead. Pretty funny stuff. CD Projekt Red really did think of everything for this DLC. Before the downfall of the Far Cry games, there was Far Cry 3, a truly magnificent game. Before Far Cry became the new Assassin's Creed, Far Cry would put a lot of effort into live-action content to promote their games. Far Cry 3 had what was called Voss's Torture Show, where the main antagonist buried a guy in the sand and proceeded to torture him. This even became a fairly popular meme.
One time is funny, two times it's fucking annoying, no?
Well, let's take a trip out to this location in the Badlands. you can find a lawn chair and a camera pointing towards a guy buried in the sand with his head sticking out. This is a reference to Voss's torture show mentioned earlier. I really like this Easter egg, especially because Far Cry 3 is one of my favorite games. Jackie's Arch is a free motorcycle that you can get at the start of Act 2. It's essentially the default motorcycle. There are actually 2 different versions of this bike. During the main quest to pick up, you have to meet with Jackie outside of the All Foods plant. If you chose the Nomad Life path, you can ask Jackie about his bike. This will unlock another optional dialogue option, and if you pass the skill check, you can tell Jackie to swap out the tailpipe. Now, if you proceed through the story to the point where you unlock Jackie's bike, you may notice that he actually listened to your advice. Jackie's Arch now has 4 exhaust pipes instead of 2, and comes with the name Jackie's Tuned Arch. Alternatively, if you skip to Phantom Liberty and choose the Nomad Life path, this version of the bike will already be in your inventory. Out in the middle of this field in the southern Badlands, you can find an old RV. This particular RV may look a bit familiar. This is actually Walter and Jesse's meth RV from Breaking Bad. It comes with 2 lawn chairs set up outside, and it even has the same bullet holes on the door.
This is my own private domicile and I will not be harassed, bitch!
If you come all the way out to River's sister's house, where this fully grown man squats, you can actually find a pizza on the roof. This is a reference to the iconic scene from Breaking Bad where Walter White throws a pizza on the roof. My last 10 hidden secrets video, I mentioned MaxTac Mantis blades and how to obtain them, but there is actually a hidden detail about it that you probably didn't notice. After you betray Songbird, she will be taken over by the Black Wall and captured by MaxTac. So in order to get her back, you and Reed have to attack the convoy. But before you do that, you need to send the ambush coordinates to Mr. Hands. After finishing the DLC and waiting a few days, Mr. Hands will call you to tell you that the information he got from your MaxTac ambush was, and I quote, testicle ticklingly delightful. And your character's response actually varies depending on the gender of your character.
The data you procured, so interesting and valuable as to be testicle-ticklingly delightful. Stellar work.
First, gross.
The data you procured, so interesting and valuable as to be testicle-ticklingly delightful. Stellar work.
First, happy to oblige.
This just shows that women will never truly understand what it's like to have your testicles tickled. Around Night City, you can find various tailgate parties. These are all fun and games until you accidentally push the wrong button. But Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty added a new, more unique version of this kind of party. If you come to this area in Pacifica, you can find a party for one of the new radio stations. There are a ton of vinyl records with corresponding data shards, as well as a laptop where you can view the radio's track list, among other things. There is also a small dance floor you can use, but the best part has to be that Rita Wheeler is here, the one true wife of Night City. This is what I find really interesting about Rita. She's a bouncer at a club, where she puts on a brave face and acts unfazed by the world. But when you run into her at the Mox party, she'll point at the couch, showing that she wants you to sit down and vibe with her, but won't actually say anything. She'll even say goodbye when you leave.
See ya!
Anyways, once you're done vibing with Mommy Rita, you can actually go vote on the best Growl FM song over by the Vans, and you'll get a new memorabilia for your apartment. If you're playing Cyberpunk, then I'm sure you've seen Blade Runner. Blade Runner is one of the most iconic Cyberpunk films of all time. And if you come to this location near Corpo Plaza, you will find an empty hotel you can enter, and there will be an elevator that'll take you up to the roof. Once you exit the elevator, the game will toggle rain. And down on the ledge you will find none other than Roy Batty, the main antagonist of the film, holding a bird just like the end of the movie. Alongside the rain, the game will also play a quiet Blade Runner atmospheric soundtrack. We're not quite done yet. You can come to the Columbarium, and in the main area of niches you can find Roy Batty, along with his final words from the movie. One thing I've noticed while playing Cyberpunk and still haven't seen a single person talk about is that you can go to the Silver Pixel Drive-In Theater, and if you go up into the projector booth and check the computer, in the files you'll see the recently played movies, which include Nightmare on Jig Jig Street and A Song of Ice and Chrome, referencing one of my favorite horror movies, The Nightmare on Elm Street, and one of my favorite TV shows, Game of Thrones. There you have it, 10 hidden secrets in Cyberpunk 2077. If you're interested in more Cyberpunk and other RPG videos, make sure you subscribe. Who knows, maybe you'll see some Witcher 3 content. Anyways, I'll see you later.